Thank you for joining me in another episode of Early Game Skyrim Requiem, and just an update on what's happened since the last video where we completed Bleak Falls Barrow at level 1. Since then, I went to the Watchtower. Irileth takes care of the dragon pretty well on her own, walked up to High Hrothgar to continue the quest line. Next step is going to be in Ustengrav, but there's a couple of conjurers in the opening room of that map where I don't think my gear is really good enough to handle them at this point, so I'm going to do some bandit quests out here around the Whiterun Plains and hopefully upgrade my gear a little bit. A few more skill points wouldn't be such a bad deal either, or just some more wolf hearts for my bestial stew. So in addition to talking about the plan for this character, I wanted to talk more generally about planning a character in general so that you can complete the Requiem content to your own satisfaction, because it is actually possible to get stuck where you can literally run out of bandit camps to do, and at that point, if you're not ready for the higher level content, your character is just kind of stuck in limbo, and it's not very much fun at all if that happens. So alright, we've got a mage in there. I'm hoping he'll just walk through the door and I can plug in with an arrow. Oh, about to die. Wow, he pulled a resurrect spell on his dog. I guess I've got to appreciate the commitment there. So, yeah, talking about planning out your character, the goal being that you've got enough offense and defensive skills to tackle the endgame content by the time that you get there. I can cast a dog as a decoy, and then circle around to try and get on top of this bandit. Oh, and that one really came out of nowhere. I think I'm gonna paralyze this guy because he's a little higher level than me. Okay, well that wasn't fair, but it worked. So yeah, let's talk about focusing your build. And there's 3 topics that I wanted to talk about, and hopefully I'll do 3 bandit camps and cover all of them. The first point is not spreading yourself too thin. So for example, in this character, I've got 1 point into alteration, and having 1 spell you can cast is actually very advantageous because magic is a resource that you can use that, I mean, it regenerates. You might as well use it for something, otherwise you're just kind of leaving behind abilities that you could have that you don't. So having at least 1 school of magic that you're using, unless that's severely against a roleplay that you're doing, is a very good idea. But what I'd caution you against is diverting yourself into too many different offensive and defensive paths. So for this particular character, I'm planning my offense around one-handed and archery, and my defense is around evasion and alteration, and maybe a couple of points into block. I may go up into these bash nodes here because they seem fun and I've never done that before. But going beyond that, well, if I put about 10 points into each skill, that's 4 skills, 40 points. That's basically a complete build. Okay, so that's Redoran's Retreat. I'll be back in a moment with the next bandit camp. Before jumping into the next piece of content, I wanted to add something on to the idea of not spreading yourself too thin, which are, I'll call them feeder skills, which the idea being if you can put a point into a skill that will result in you gaining 1 or more levels, then that perk was effectively free. Because Requiem is unscaled, so I just put a point into lockpicking with the expectation that, well, maybe I'll go up as far as Treasure Hunter, just because this is a found item only character. But even just 1 point in lockpicking, if you pick enough locks and gain a level in it, then it's been effectively a free perk. So that's the one occasion where I think taking just 1 of skills can actually be really to your advantage. But with that said, let's jump into Orotheim, this little medium-sized bandit camp up here between Morthal and Whiterun. The second topic I wanted to talk about are making use of racial attributes or proficiencies. So for example, most classes would need a point into sneak, otherwise they would be totally ineffective at it, but the Khajiit get the bonus of effectively not needing that first point in sneak to be able to use it. So effectively we can save ourselves having to put a point into sneak, and I just got wrecked. So this guy's probably going to follow me outside and kill me, unless I can just turn around and kill him really fast. Nope. And that's Requiem for you. So yeah, making use of racial abilities, while it may seem counterintuitive that making a sneaky Khajiit is actually kind of inefficient, because, well, if I leave no points in sneak at all, I save all those perks to put into something else, and it means that my other skills become effectively more powerful. And if I can just tag this mage, I'd be really, really happy. He's kind of high level. I may have to back out of this one. Except he's dumb. He's not looking for me. Alright, let's back out again. There's a chance that this bandit cave is too high level for me, but I feel like with good tactics I might be able to get it. Okay, there's 5 of them. One more attempt and I'm calling this one off. So I think the essential thing is to get a higher valued target with this first shot. Hopefully this steel arrow will make it a one-shot, but I guess my archery isn't quite good enough for that. Alright, do I stick around and try and pick them off is the question. I can kind of see movement back there, but I can't tell where they are. Okay, this is where the ranger perk comes in handy, is that I can be a little more mobile. Oh, I really want that crossbow, but I'm about to die before I can pick it up. Okay, now here, unfortunate that I still haven't been able to find any stamina potions whatsoever, but now that I have a crossbow, I'm feeling a little bit better about my chances. My stamina is really low. I think I need to favorite the crossbow and kind of cheese him with it. That's just doing a whole lot of nothing. Alright, well, there's no other enemies coming out, so I think I've got a chance. Okay, there's a chance that this heavy armored bandit is just too strong for me, but I did get a crossbow, which was my main goal of going in there in the first place, so I'm going to see if I can just get away. And I'm not afraid to take a few deaths in doing these sorts of cave explorations, but there's a certain point at which you just have to realize that you're underleveled for the content. And dying 20 times is not entertaining, probably for me or for you. Okay, now can we make good our escape? Still no stamina. Has my bestial stew run off? Yes, it has. Wow, I wonder if someone could confirm this for me in the comments, whether you can only have one food effect active at a time, because it may be that by taking beef stew I have ruined myself. And speaking of taking advantage of racial attributes, the Khajiit racial of reduced falling damage turns out to be awesome for making a hasty escape. Okay, on to the next bandit cave. For the third bandit camp, I'll be doing White River Watch, which is located right about here. The other quests that I got are for Valtheim Towers and Halted Stream Camp, both of which I think are a little bit too difficult for what I can handle right now. So this one, while it's still somewhat challenging, there's a few decent sized packs of enemies. If I'm good with my crossbow shots, I should be able to get through it. So the third topic I wanted to talk about is when planning your character, deciding which perk points or which training you should put into your various skills. So obviously you only get to train 5 times each level, and you really should aim to train every single level, because being able to diversify your skills, because obviously, well, I'm using mostly one-handed and archery right now. If I didn't train anything, then it would be hard for me to diversify my build. But by training up some of my secondary skills, I have that option. You can also train your main skills if you feel like your power is lagging, or if there's a perk that you really want to get to quickly. You can just train and get it much faster. But if you do that consistently, then your character, well, you may find it becoming very one-dimensional over time, which is fine if that's the one way you want to play the game, but it can also become kind of stale. So right before I came here, I ran over to Rift and spent some of my bounty money on the carriage so that I could have the blacksmith there train me 5 levels in smithing, because you'd only start with 5 skill in smithing, and I really want to get it up to about 50, so that I have the option to later on have some honed elven gear. Like I'm sure I'll find some of that along the way, and then that'll give me something that'll get me through the mid game really solidly, because I'll have good enough weaponry to tackle the content at that point. Okay, so this is an area. Let's just focus on killing bandits, because there's quite a few archers, it looks like, and I really need to just not give them a chance to shoot back at me, because I'll die really fast. And I don't want this one to get away and warn the others, so hopefully I haven't aggroed the enemies later on. And this one gives me some bolts, that's excellent. So if I were into alchemy, this cave would be absolutely amazing for it, because there's just mushrooms everywhere. It's a really good place to go early on if you're looking to make some coin by building potions. Because it's, I'm not going to say it's the easiest to clear, but it's not the most difficult either. And, well, you can make it hard for yourself if you insist on missing all the time. But so now let's just focus on getting our timing and our spacing on these different enemies. Looks like there's a mage up there. Usually the bandit mages, they're working off of just scrolls, so they do run out. And I'm not sure if that was a crossbow I saw back there, but do I have any tools? Alright, I'm gonna back up a little bit, make a fresh save just in case, because that bandit looked, I didn't get a good look, but it looked like they had some pretty advanced armor on, which usually also means that they're higher level, which usually means that they have perks in something dangerous. Okay, crossbow. And we're able to get on top of him fast enough to take care of it. And it's a wooden crossbow, not particularly useful for us, but we're progressing. And this is an area where, again, you could just go mushroom picking and do really well for yourself. If that's the thing you were doing, there's more stuff in all the barrels, but I'm not doing any crafting like that, so don't care. This final guy can be kind of a challenge, but there's only one of them and you've got enough space to move around, and we can just run away if we have to. And usually the one-handers, they'll do one big swing to the side and then they will follow up with another one. So you don't want to try and get in there too quickly and just eat that second shot and get killed. But that is White River Watch. Nice clean little run, get some potions, and see you next time.